Hello, this is the Retro Bear in the Gaming Pantry once again, and nice to see you here for another video. Thanks for clicking on. Not many people do these days, but then again I don't have an awful lot to show you, but not like the old days anyway, is it? Anyway, hope you're well. First time clicking, great to see you here. Returning clicker, thank you very much indeed. Lovely to have you with us on this rather sunny Sunday afternoon, or Sunday lunchtime, sorry. 14th of July today. So we've already got past the halfway point of the year. Wow, that's gone quick, hasn't it? Yeah. We haven't quite hit summer yet, have we, over in the UK? But, you know, it looks all right out there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll stay that way for the foreseeable future. We'll actually get some summer in before the summer goes. We're thrown into the depths of winter yet again. Yes, so what I've got today for you, just a few little bits and pieces I've picked up again. It's all 8-bit stuff. If that's not your thing, I'm sorry, but that's really all I seem to be picking up at the moment, is all the stuff that really interests me. It's been that way for quite some time, and I'm getting a bit of a reputation for it, which is fine. I don't mind the reputation, it works for me. But yeah, I appreciate it's not everybody's taste, but of course without all this stuff going on years and years ago, we wouldn't be having stuff like this, which we addressed the game in the room. I got the old the frog impression there. We've got the old 360 on the go again, and we've got Fairytale Fights, which you may or may not have heard of or seen before. But this is a very violent, and you'll see from the, if you keep watching the background, a very violent fighting game based around fairy tales. It's got a 16 rating for a very good reason. It's very, very gory. I got it years ago, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to grab that because it looks like a lot of fun. It's not great, I'll be honest with you, but yeah, it's not bad at all, really. So that'll roll in the background there. Thanks for everybody who watched the revival video. I did miss a few people off that as well. People may have got mentioned in the links but didn't get mentioned in the video, and vice versa. There's a couple of people I mixed out. Tetley, I'd missed Lee out, and Pete Armour. I'm a retro tip. I'd missed Pete out. First time I've met Pete ever. I met Lee last year at the Crash event, and he's been seen him a couple of times now. Really nice guy, Lee. But Pete, I hadn't missed Pete out. I mean, cripes. What a lovely guy is. Pete's done a couple of shout outs for me in the past, sent me a few things in the post as well. Even did the old Desert Island Games many years ago. In fact, he invited himself on because he absolutely loved the idea. It was a pleasure to have sort of 3 hours in Pete's company that time, and yeah, fabulous to meet you again. Fleeting as it was, but I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to do it again. And I also did miss one pickup off. You may have noticed behind me. I'll try and move out of the way. I've got a new arcade logo, which is from my good friend Fob. I'll bring it across. And yeah, it's the Wrestlemania. This is the one, you see I've got the WrestleFest one for the arcade machine. This was the one I wanted simply because of the old school logo. I'm an old school wrestling fan, if you don't realise, and I absolutely love that logo they use on WrestleMania's 1 to 9, I think it was. And he had this, Fob had this at the Black Country Games Fair, and my good friend Paul the Ink Northerner grabbed it. But luckily he had another one at Revival, so I got that off him. And I'll stick it down there. If I stick it back up there, it's going to fall down. But yeah, so I'm going to stick that behind me there. Nice to have a couple more going at the middle, but I'm going to have to start picking ones related to games now, not just wrestling related games. But yeah, I absolutely love that. So I forgot to mention it. You may have noticed it in the background, but anyway, I picked that up from there. I don't think there's anything else I missed off that. Yeah, I mentioned before, obviously there's something going around. I want very well. Mrs. Bear's had the old COVID since. Quite a few people have had COVID since Revival as well. There's been a couple of carriers in the venue. Might have been me, I don't know. I've sort of been exposed to this for, working all the way through it for 4.5 years. I suspect mine was, a mild variant of it. I don't think it was proper COVID because I felt well enough to work until I didn't. I had to have a couple of days off. But Claire's been, flat out with it, and she's still got this horrendous cough. I heard there was something going around called the 100-day cough or something at the moment. My dad mentioned it. I don't know if he made it up or not, just trying to scare me off. But apparently his sister-in-law had got it, and she'd been told, yeah, you can have that for a few weeks yet. So, so poor old Claire, every now and again, he's really sort of coughing quite ferociously. But she's over the worst of it now. The rest of it seems to have gone. It's just the coughing business. So, yeah, we sort of rode through that a little bit, which is quite good. Well, I have anyway. I'm back out the other side now. But yeah, I'd never know whether it was or not. I was quite proud of the fact to say up until then, I don't think I've ever had it. Well, I haven't had it because I've not had any of the symptoms at all. Not blowing my own trumpet by saying I've beaten it and stuff like that. I'll never not get it because I probably will. And I probably have had it. I've probably been carrying it and giving it to other people. You know, it's one of those, isn't it? You know, just have one of these bells around my neck with the words "unclean" attached to it and ring it every time I come around the corner. I don't know. So, yeah, I think that's Mrs. Bear, certainly Mrs. Bear's second running with it. But I know that's my mate Sean's had it again. I think Sean's had it 12 times or something. The COVID loves him. It's great. Yeah, not for him, but yeah. But yes, there's definitely something going around a revival. So it's not the touch of the old Norbrecks in Blackpool in October. It's a bit touch of the old Wolverhamptons in June, maybe. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Yes, as always. So what I'm going to show you today was I've got some 8-bit stuff. Amstrad 64 and Spectrum. All got from retrogames.co.uk, my mate Jace. Again, purely because they listed a load of 8-bit stuff a couple of weeks ago. There was some stuff within the bargain basement which I nabbed. And there was a couple of items which were sort of compilations which I had to get hold of. And I'll tell you, because some of these games are actually getting in my collection for the first time, not just for that particular machine, actually for the very first time, which is quite interesting. What you'll have to see, there's a couple of nice ones here actually, a couple of really tatty ones, but that's one in the bargain basement. They're all battered a little bit. Let's do a couple of small ones first of all, shall we? Best way to start with a small one. And yes, so purely for research purposes, we've got Strip Poker 2 on the Commodore 64. I think it's like £1 because there's some sort of writing or damage on the inlay. Yeah, that was the height of titillation back then. I mean, there's no certifications on this, so I'm having a look at that again. I'm pretty sure there's some nipplage on the first picture. But yeah, there's no restrictions back then. You know, we mentioned a 16 rating on this, as you can quite clearly see at the bottom there. But there's nothing like this back then. So you had to take your chances with it. I'm not quite sure the right way to do it. But yeah, I mean, research purposes only. I mean, it's £1, isn't it? You know, why would I not do that? I mean, it's going to take me, ages to set the Commodore up and to load it in. So chances are it's never going to get played. But yeah, I've got a couple of Strip Poker games. I've got the Samantha Fox one certainly, and I've got a couple one on the Amiga. I think old dear John gave me one of them as well. Well, I can play cards either. Strange, isn't it? Yes. There's another bearded old pervert sitting in his spare bedroom, modelling as a games room. Yeah. What have we got next? Amstrad. Now, this game I haven't got in my collection at all anywhere. And I've always wanted to have it. But having watched sort of videos and that, I'm a little disappointed with it. I don't know, maybe it was sort of something of its time anyway. It's Rockstar Ain't My Hamster, which is a Codemasters game. This was came out on, I think, all 8-bit formats. I think it came out on the 16-bit formats as well. And the idea was you took control of a fictional rock band and sort of promoted them, sent them out to gigs, concerts, promoted singles and albums, etc. Sort of like a management game, but with a really sort of like crude level sense of humour on it. Again, this is before certification came into games. So having watched a few gameplay, some very, very, should we say, near to the knuckle humour in it. But yeah, it looks a bit, I suppose the best way to describe it is a little bit dull, really. I think once you get past the initial fun to start with, it just sort of, there is not a lot to it. But I haven't played it, so I'm only sort of saying from what I've seen on rolling video. Obviously, best idea to get me to go, but you can see they use likenesses of well-known stars. There's Michael Jackson. Sorry, not Michael Jackson on the front there. That's not Michael Jackson at all. But that, Madonna was in it as well, and some well-known stars of the late 80s, early 90s. So it's yeah, and he does say at the front that this game contains material which some people may find offensive. And of course, the game is based on the old newspaper headline from years ago, which some of you may or may know what I'm talking about the late comedian Freddie Starr. Freddie Starr ate my hamster, which is a fictional story to generate news. Didn't actually eat the hamster, as far as I'm aware, anyway. Was it a gerbil? No, he didn't eat anything. But yeah, that's where it came from. So Rockstar ate my hamster, that's where it came from. But yeah, but if you like, that sort of level of humour, That's the sort of thing you're going to want. And again, I think that was maybe 150 or something like that. Again, not very expensive. This also came at the bargain basement. This is a bit battered, this one, but again, a game I don't actually have in my collection across any format. So we've got some small Commodore cardboard. Yes. I've not had any small Commodore cardboard for a few months. You get withdrawal symptoms, you know. And this is the Addams Family, based on the 1991 film. From Ocean Software. This is Ocean's period, and they've done film licenses before, which have got very generic. So they've always got the same sort of process. So they have like a platform sequence and a driving sequence and a puzzle sequence and something else and another platform sequence to finish off. And by this time this has come out, that format has pretty much been, you know, rinsed, repeat, and done. So they now moved into very much a format where games like Addams Family, Navy SEALs, Lethal Weapon. What's the Sleepwalker? I think it was Sleepwalker. Was it again? They did comic relief, and Dennis the Menace for that film, 1993 film, I think it was. They all became platform games, just generic platform games. So that was it. But yeah, so I haven't actually got this at all. This is a game if you want on the hit squad. It's going to cost you a few quid. Now the box is a little bit squished at the back. You won't be able to see that there. But everything else about it should be there. The tape's in there, the manual's in there. The manual's actually not in bad condition at all. The box is just a little bit squished. But we do love the old stew thing here in a second. Not as good as stew, does it? But anyway. But yeah, so nice to have the Addams Family in the collection. I think that was about £3. You can see there the back of the box is up squished out there, but again, nothing probably a bit of a sit down on the 9 wouldn't do. It's going to be a pretty good game, I think, but I've never played it. But I'm not particularly interested in the Addams Family. Doesn't excite me to go out and buy that one. You know, like say RoboCop or Batman would have done. That doesn't really interest me. I've seen the film, I think, but yeah, I just didn't get the Addams Family at all. I watched Wednesday. Anyone watched Wednesday? That was on Netflix last year. That was pretty good. But I don't think you had to really be into the Addams Family to get it. Whereas that I just don't. That whole thing, I come quite, you know, the 1960s America, and they have 2 sitcoms based on vampires and Frankenstein and ghosts and ghouls in the Addams Family and the Munsters. Should never have worked, but for some reason. But then again, the Addams Family before that was a long-standing comic strip, so nice source material. I think whoever came with the Munsters, I don't think the Munsters was anything before, just something they created. And I'll tell you last one at the bargain basement. Again, this was about £3, I think it was. I've been after this for ages. I've seen a really good condition copy of this is probably going to set you back about 15 to 25 notes. And I'm like, I'm not paying that much for it because I've got a lot of the games already. And then this came up at, I think it's, £3. The box is a bit battered. Normally I probably wouldn't have gone for it, but to be honest with you, it's such a good price. And it does come with the manual as well, though the manual's a little bit tatty as well. And it's from Konami, and it's Konami's arcade collection. Now, Konami brought out, there was a compilation, Konami Coin-Op Hits, which had, we got on here, we got Green Beret, Yeah Kung Fu, Ping Pong, Mikey, and Hypersports. They were all on that compilation. And they brought out a second one. So the only difference is here is you get Jailbreak. You've got Yeah Kung Fu 2, which I understand is not very good. Beyond My Finger, then called Jackal. Then you've got Hypersports. We've got Shaylin's Road, and then finally at the top, Nemesis, which is an old vertical shooter, horizontal shooter. Sorry. But yeah, so I mean, as you can see, there is a bit of damage to the box there. The flap sticks up a little bit. There's some old sellotape around the outside, so it's not great condition. This is for the Amstrad, by the way. But like I said, a proper version is going to set you back quite a bit. And again, you can see the manual, not great condition. Someone's had a bit of the old masking tape down there to hold it together. But I mean, you know, the actual manual itself holds together quite nicely. But yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, not great condition, but I think for £3, I think, yeah, I've tried to find a decent copy of it at a price I want to pay for it, and I just can't find it at the moment. It's quite strange because, like I said, 5 of those games are already on another compilation anyway, and the other 5 you get in here as well. I mean, you know, Nemesis probably would be the standout title. Jackal, because it didn't actually get a proper release, I believe. And there's another game there that cause Jackal never came out on the 64. So the game called Iron Horse replaced Jackal on the 64. So although if I got the Spectrum, wouldn't it be exactly the same line that the Commodore 64 would be slightly different. Anyway, there's the back of it, so you can have a look. But yeah, it's just a classic Konami arcade games from the early to mid 1980s. Can't go wrong with that, really. So yeah, but at that price, I mean, I'd have been daft to leave it behind. I've been after it. It has been something I've been looking for. So, and again, 10 games on it. Value is astonishing. It really is astonishing. Because that probably would have set you back about $12.99 back in the day on the tape, probably $14.99 on disc. And even now, back then, $12.99, you're getting 10 games for $12.99. That's a bargain. I'm getting 10 games for £33 here plus postage. It's about a third of the cost. It's great. I always like a bargain, don't we? You like a bargain. You always used to. Don't get many bargains nowadays. I mean, I never have spent £3 in the game years ago. When I first started doing this, never would have spent £3 in the game. £3 in the game. Are you mad? Are you mad? The next two was shocking. I spent £7 each on these. Let's do this one because I've already got this one. Actually, I've already got both of these elsewhere, but we'll do them slightly different. They're both on the Spectrum. And we got, again, a bit of a squash box in this one, but this is the Addicted to Fun Rainbow Collection. Now, I had a cold sweat because I thought I'd bought this for a system I've already got it on. I think I've already got this on the Amstrad. Because when I put my collection list together, I put this down as the Rainbow Collection on the Amstrad, not Addicted to Fun, which is what it says there. And it does actually say on the label, it says Addicted to Fun, the Rainbow Collection. So I thought, hang on a second, I better double check that. So I checked both Addicted to Fun and the Rainbow Collection, and luckily I hadn't bought it on the Spectrum. Again, it's a little bit of a squishy box, but I don't mind. Again, that will just push out quite nicely. That shouldn't take too much to sort out at all, really. And then inside we've got some of the old bubble wrap in there, because proper collectors put bubble wrap in, apparently. They've got 3 tapes, the 3 games, I should tell you. Didn't tell the 3 games, was it? Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble, and the New Zealand Story. So, I mean, 3 classic platformers from the late 1980s. You really can't get 3 better games than that in a compilation. It's an absolute belter to have. And I should also tell you as well that the manual is in there in very good condition. Yeah, very good condition manual, that one. Like I said, that one set me back a little bit more, but I think it's about what I paid for my Amstrad version as well. So technically speaking, I've only got the Commodore 64 one to find now. Do I really want to go down that? Oh, there'll be a video coming on that, don't worry about it. And there we've got the back of the box, with definitely not the Spectrum versions on there. Where do you see that? I need to get a better camera. I need to invest in some proper stuff, you know. But yes, so yes, just nice. But again, just 3 classic games. Again, games I probably got on the Spectrum already. Single releases, budget releases, probably, or they'll be the Hit Squad in those cases. Probably got all those. But just can't resist it. Just can't resist the compilation. And then the final one. Now, this is probably the find of this particular pickup. So really, Konami Arcade Collection, nice to have that one. But this one, I think is great because I've already got this on the Amstrad. Now I got this got the Amstrad version from Vintage Gamer. When we about 2 years ago managed to convince Nicky Nis to get all his 8-bit stuff out so we can have a good rummage through it, and I got some absolute bargains that day. Absolute bargain stuff in unopened condition, literally. Well, they'd been open, but they were absolutely, hate to use the word, minters. They really were. Some of the stuff, they're absolute mint. And this was one of those boxes that was in there. And to find the box, first of all, in the condition which is usable is fantastic. And you'll know what I mean when I show it to you. And a friend of mine had the C64 version of this going back when it came out. But this is the Spectrum version of this particular release. And I thought, I've got to get this because it is in such good condition. And this is Arcade Muscle. Now, it's 5 games. It's a US Gold House. Has it come out on it's come out on World Beaters label, but it is a US Gold compilation. Because you can tell by the conversion. So you've got Street Fighter, terrible. Sidearms, which I know very little about. 1943, not bad. Road Blasters, and Bionic Commando, which on certain systems is great, on certain systems isn't. And I think I picked up Bionic Commando on the Kicks re-release label on the last video pickups I did. I'm looking at it down there. It probably did, yes. So I've already got, again, probably got all these games across the collection, but not this particular one. Now, if you notice, this is lovely hard plastic box. These boxes were great to look at, but don't look at them too long, so they'll fall apart. So there's a catch on the front there, which I'll just lift up. And you've got to be really, really careful with these. And then so the hinges, again, just fold out nicely like that. So you've got to just hold that in the palm of your hand. And these boxes are very prone to breaking. So actually to find this one which has got no cracks in it whatsoever, the hinges are in good condition, was great. I had a quick look at the photographs that were on there. It looked in good condition, so I thought, and then grabbed it, and it was like, wow, yeah, this is really good. And also as well, from all the ones that I've picked up previously, there's actually a tape tray in this one. Now I think if you look at my 10 gen collection I picked up a couple of videos ago, that's just got the tapes rattling around in it, which goes to show that there should have been something like this in there, which is missing. But everything else was in there. The instructions, now that's how the instructions manuals used to be years and years and years ago. I'm going to be very careful with this because it sounds very, very brittle. So there we go. So all the instructions are in there. That's how they used to come years and years ago. But also, there was a winner trip of a lifetime to Silicon Valley leaflet in there. And this was a passport to America. A Capcom passport ticket. Cut it out and affixed it to your passport now. So the idea was you went around buying Capcom games and then collect the passport, and then you could win a trip to Silicon Valley. A 1 week experience paid trip for 2 people to Silicon Valley, including a visit to Capcom. Wow. Wouldn't that be a good prize? Your second prize was a portable CD player. Ooh. And then the third prize was one of 25 US gold sweatshirts. Yeah, so the prize obviously slightly going down as you went along. But yeah, again, I do love finding things. We call them Brucey bonuses, we used to, not out of respect to Sir Bruce Forsyth, but we just, the phrase Brucey bonuses, we used to love finding things in here which were just different. You know, I found plenty of things like that over there. Close that very carefully. There we go. I have just noticed actually there is a tiny little crack in that one. There's a tiny little crack, but it's a really good condition. I mean, again, that's just going to go straight into the cupboard and not touch too much. But yeah, arcade muscle. I've only ever seen, honestly, going around 2 copies of that one, and the other one I saw at Vintage Game. I've never seen them anywhere else since they came out. So it's nice to find those. I'm pretty sure there was another one like that as well at the same time, another US Gold release. But yeah, US Gold used that box there. Domark have used it for the 10 Gen collection. They used it for the Star Wars trilogy, the original arcade games that they put in the compilation as well. So they didn't last longer. I mean, I had a real game with a Sega Saturn box the other day. Yeah, I've had the Saturn out. I've been playing on the Saturn a little bit. And not so much the cardboard boxes, but actually the hard cases. I had a game getting it open. It just wouldn't. About half an hour trying to open the bloody box. It was ridiculous. I tell you, I don't know why they ever moved away. Sega ever moved away from the boxes they used for the Master System and Mega Drive. But again, I'm not sure. Again, trying to move away from using cardboard. But you know, that's hard, durable plastic. That is, or durable if you're cracking it. But there we go. Yeah, so that's it. So that's just the 6 I picked up recently. Not been very busy. I've got some more stuff on the way, but there's only like a couple of items, so I might just shove those in a video I do whenever I do. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you played any of those, any memories of those in the comments below. It'd be great. Excuse me, it'd be nice to hear from you. I won't burp on you, honestly. I'll try not to. That's breakfast coming back, I think. I'm trying to finish that muesli off. Yeah, I'm still trying to eat that muesli bag about ages ago. You know, idea I'm getting on with it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you play Fairytale Fights, let me know what it's like as well. And let you know if your opinion contrasts wildly with mine. In the meantime, thank you. It's Been great to talk to you once more. See you again very soon. Until then, take care. Bye for now.